Hey, and welcome to the Vergecast for the week of March 10th, 2014. I'm Josh Topolsky.
I'm TC Sadek, and this is my third week in captivity. Please help.
And
I'm Katie.
Yeah, Katie. Good old TC and Katie. My two favorite people to do the Vergecast with. I look like there's an oil spill on my head with this
On your hair?
with my hair.
It's getting really long.
It is getting long. Here's the question. How long will it get?
Pigtails long.
I'm thinking mini pony.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like Jared Leto.
Yeah.
I want to have like a Jared Leto style hair situation.
His hair is very long.
I'll never be as beautiful as Jared Leto, but I can have long hair like him. I want to be like, he looks like a beautiful horse running through the fields of...
like a tiny little pony.
Like a pony.
Who loves
like a beautiful pony.
Yeah.
I think, we're drinking again.
Yeah, cheers.
Oh, yeah.
Look at him. He's a beautiful man with a beautiful head of hair. I need to get some highlights.
He has really
that,
nice bone structure.
He looks like Gaius Baltar from Battlestar Galactica with long hair.
He really does. Let's have a little clink of the old...
Cheers.
Yeah, cheers.
Cheers.
What do they say in Canada when you cheers?
Cheers. Sorry. Yeah, sorry. Sorry our glasses touched.
Sorry, this is such an aggressive action. I didn't mean to...
Please forgive this. Please forgive this intrusion on your personal space.
Someone asked me to wear this hat today.
Who's someone? Who's that?
Someone
special lady in your life?
A special fan.
Someone in your life, special lady, maybe? Special dude? Special broham? I mean, I'm not judging. I'm cool with whatever.
I think it's Baru Man.
Baru Man?
He just tweeted, "Ugh, so glad you're a cowboy."
I'm an urban cowboy.
Oh, yeah, check it out.
Should have worn my boots today. Tried to bring my bolo tie, but I couldn't.
Anyhow, this is the Vergecast. This is the Vergecast, man. That's it.
What did you guys want to talk about today?
Well, there's a lot to talk about, I think, right?
Yeah.
What were we talking about just before we started rolling? I was talking about how I wanted to murder TC. And I was saying, he was like, please kill me. That's what he wasn't like, and I don't think he was joking. It was like, I'm ready to be done with life.
What?
I've had it.
Why?
And then, and I was saying how amazing it would be if I killed him live for real on the Vergecast. Like that would be that'd be a podcast you'd never forget.
We have a spear in the office.
That would be really easy to convict, too.
We have a giant spear.
Unless it could be, there was some, that's like on The Good Wife, do you watch The Good Wife? Yeah,
that's like on The Good Wife, episode 20.
There would be a scene, there's like, he killed him on the Vergecast, and there's there's video, 20,000 people, 1 million people watch it, or it's 20,000, by the way, don't worry, it's not 1 million.
But it would be like the Wedgecast or something.
Something like that, right? And then be like live, but then like The Good Wife would be like, wait a second, that knife wasn't even his, and like his hand is like, look, it's been edited or something. And then
she'd make out with Will.
Hey,
Connors.
spoiler alert, okay?
Maybe.
No, they make out. They do.
Oh, I haven't seen that
they
episode
get hot
yet.
and heavy.
I haven't seen it yet.
They do everything.
Spoiler.
And they show it on CBS, which I thought was shocking.
I need to catch up.
Wow.
I'm still watching Scandal.
Full frontal nudity.
Really?
What are we looking at here? What is this? A clip? Just a random clip from a trailer for The Good Wife.
John, show the nudity.
It's such a good show, though.
It's
If you haven't seen it, it's incredible.
It's unbelievable it's on CBS, a network known for several horrible programs.
I hear it's better than House of Cards.
I actually think, look, House of Cards is very good. I think some of it strays into a level of incredulous, ness.
Yeah.
That is pretty...
I find it a little bit sort of meandery.
Meandry, I think, well... That's not my main issue.
When he kills the president, it just goes way over the top.
Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert! No, but that's the thing about House of Cards. Like that could happen on that show.
Yeah.
And they'd be like, "Yeah, that's a totally reasonable plot point."
Frank Underwood puts ricin in his stevia.
Yeah, it's got like it's kind of like Homeland.
Multiple shows.
I stopped
spoiler
watching.
alert.
I hope. By the way, I hope you're not watching this Vergecast for any information about anything or any real conversation.
Important opinions, though.
So, Katie, we were talking about your haircut. You said you get your haircut by a woman named Letitia.
Yes, in Brooklyn Heights.
And I was like, oh, you're wearing a Brooklyn. You gotta you're like showing off your Brooklyn street cred.
Yeah.
And
Brooklyn Nets. I went to one game 1.5 years ago.
How was it?
It was
I love
okay.
the Nets.
Yeah, me too. I'm a big fan. I have their T-shirt.
Did you see Jay-Z?
No, Jay-Z was not there.
He's at every game.
It was for Carl's birthday.
Does he like the Nets?
No, we just decided together that we were going to like the Nets, and so we both bought T-shirts.
Well, they're awesome. They're all like, they have all black uniforms. They're in Brooklyn. Mm-hmm. They just seem really cool. They all listen to I'm trying to Deerhoof or whatever. I don't know what.
Excuse me.
I'm trying to think of a band. They're all really into Interpol. I don't know what's a cool.
Interpol.
I don't know. My references are all off.
I don't know.
I have not been sleeping a lot. What's a cool band now that everybody's like, it's like indie, but they're cool?
The National.
No doubt.
Now the National's like really popular.
Yeah, they're too popular.
But they actually, I think they played at the Barclay.
Oh, they did, but I didn't go because I was
Yeah.
like, I'm not going to see them at fucking Barclay.
I gotta say something about the National. I really have a new.
Well, it's too big a venue.
I agree, not intimate enough
Yeah.
because you're into that intimate indie vibe. Here's what I want to say about the National.
Uh-oh.
I didn't realize
could
this.
get
Number
ugly.
one, they're from Cincinnati,
Oh, I didn't know
which
that.
is a tough place for anybody to be from, and I think people in Cincinnati will back me up on this. They've been at this for a long time. '99 is when they formed.
Wow.
So just nothing but respect for the National. Also, the lead singer, if you saw him on Saturday Night Live, they were just on with Lena Dunham. He is a dead ringer for Randy Quaid in Independence Day. A particular Randy Quaid in Independence Day. Here he is. Can we get a close-up on him? I mean, he looks so much like Randy Quaid from Independence Day.
Oh my God.
Can we get a shot of Randy? Yes.
Side by side.
Wow. Just get in there. Can we get a side-by-side of Randy Quaid from Independence Day, please? I'm just going to wait. They're like live. I love that they're doing this live.
Aliens.
I like.
So
your Randy Quaid
yeah,
impersonation?
I don't even remember what he
Pretty
sounds
good.
like.
That's what he sounds like. Exactly.
I'm supposed to be the person keeping us on topic today, and I'm just going to let everyone know I'm not going to do my
Let's
job.
do it. What's the first topic?
What's the topic?
We're supposed to talk about
Worst Vergecast ever, am I
this
right,
stuff
guys?
that happened.
No way,
down
this
in
is
Austin,
awesome.
Texas.
They're so
South by Southwest.
Otherwise known
SXSW.
as Brand Hell World.
brand hell world. Where's my side-by-side? This is nonsense. What's worse, watching this or listening to it?
Being in it.
Wow. Oh, John, you don't like... I'm sorry, John, in the control booth, I was just told being in that room is the worst. You know what? You
The
don't
free
have to
wine's
be,
okay.
You don't
but
have to be in there.
The perpetual
No one's
bondage.
forcing you. I mean, it is your job, but
You're getting paid right now to drink wine and just like talk about whatever you want.
yeah, it's amazing.
But you guys can see
pretty
what
sweet.
happens off camera.
Somebody just asked, have we completely given up on the illusion of discussing tech on the Vergecast?
You guys want to discuss
As
some
long as
tech?
I'm on it.
Let's discuss
Yes.
some tech.
I think
You want to talk about tech?
I think that I'm like not going to talk about a smartphone for
Don't talk to me about it.
like it's got to be a really interesting development in smartphones to talk about it. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just not interested in talking. I mean, certain technology like I would talk about the well, I mean, it's not really a tech story, but I would talk about what Casey wrote at South by Southwest,
Yes,
which is about
everyone should
how
talk about
South by
that all the
Southwest
time.
Interactive, which is supposed to be this place where like beautiful, amazing new ideas about like the future of our world are born, has actually become this like really weird brand. Like it's like called an orgy.
Yeah.
And
a rollicking
Yeah.
corporate brand orgy.
yeah, which I think is like totally valid.
Who's this guy? Mark Little wants us to talk about tech. Doesn't he use
think-
capitalization when spelling his name? Who is he? Dana Boyd?
Yeah, here we go. Look at this. Unbelievable. Well,
Oh man,
No,
I feel
that's
like-
not it
that's
at
not a
all.
good picture.
Yeah,
of him,
Were
though.
you
it's not a
drinking on
great-
Saturday
No,
night?
I'm telling you, he looks like him. It's the wrong angle.
Yeah,
I'm a little
sure.
disappointed. Can we get him in a plane or something, flying into the
No,
alien
I
ship?
got what you need, John.
Spoil, you got the right image.
I got it.
He really does look like him. Anyhow, so what were we talking about? Oh, South by Southwest. So yeah, the thing is, I mean, it's not a surprise. I think this has been this way for a long time, but it's just like a
This one right here.
brand. It's just a clusterfuck of brands, and it's all really nasty, lame shit. It's like this guy Shingy from AOL. Do you know this dude, this digital prophet? This guy's like my least favorite. And by the way, I'm sure he's a really nice guy, and I feel bad saying this because I'm sure he's a lovely man. But he calls himself a digital prophet, or that's what AOL calls him, or something. Can we get a picture of Shingy up on the view screen here? Can we just get Shingy? Just do a Google search for Shingy. It's really great if you could just get an image of him up. I'm not going to talk till there's an image of Shingy on the screen.
I don't like to put people on blast, but he kind of looks like what Sonic the Hedgehog would look like if he was a human being.
Right.
I imagine.
He
I
looks
don't know.
super excited about everything.
I feel like, well, he's profiting off of the forthcoming digital.
Wow.
Here's Shingy speaking. It's a better image of Shingy. This is too dark. I need to see Shingy up
Wow,
close.
there he is.
Can we get audio on this? Is this him profiting, right? To being a prophet? Profiteering?
Look at those nails.
Be cool to put your brand in the middle of those, or even deliver one of those experiences.
Is he?
The
So he
sixth largest contributor to stress today is media overload.
what?
We know that there's a challenge in terms of attention, but if you do get it right, mind share equals market share, and that's where consumers are going to pass your brand on.
Nice. Whoa, here
So
he
wait.
is thinking.
Wait, I'm
Mind
like
sorry.
share-
Is he?
pensive-
Wait,
the
I'm
pensive
sorry.
mind
wait.
share
From an
equals-
amazing lady, which I love. It's Catherine Hepburn, and this is it.
What?
If you obey all the rules, you miss all the fun. I think what we need to do is get into fast experimentation mode. The platforms allow us to do that because you fundamentally have between 6 seconds and 13 hours to tell your brand story today. You're not limited
That's a big window.
to 30s and 60s.
How are you telling your
across
brand
television.
story?
You have these different brand expressions today, these different engines to tell your story.
Yeah.
So I would love
This
to
is really
see you
long.
embrace.
We need to
All right, that's
fast
enough. That's enough of
culture.
Shingy.
I can't.
I just need to
Wait,
still.
just to clarify, he is employed.
He's
by,
employed by AOL, as far as I know, and
That's
he's
amazing.
His title is Digital Prophet,
Of course, it is.
and he's talking about how you can get your brand, just jam on your brand, get it jammed up into somebody's area. Anyhow, but like
Brand
that's
jam.
South by Southwest. Here's the
Yeah.
most striking image. Actually, Valleywag Sam Biddle, I think, posted this. It was like a picture of Shingy on Mashable's like wrecking ball. There it is. That's That's what South by Southwest is. It's like a sandwich of garbage. It's a I'm sorry, Shingy. I'm sorry. I know you're a nice guy, but you're a human being, and I don't want to diss you. Like I'm sure you're a lovely man to hang out with. But like your stuff that you say sounds really horrible, and you're. I'm not gonna. You know what? To each his own. Your look is your look. Like whatever. But being called a digital prophet and saying shit like brand message or whatever is the worst. So. I mean, is that tech? Is that a tech conversation? I don't know. Hey, wait a second, buddy. Hold on, huh? Don't
did I
forget
get this job?
Don't forget Shingy Jr. over here. Oh, did I tell you I'm changing my title to New trend will be befriending, unfollowing. Shingy. Anyhow, so that may be a tech story. I think that's the kind of tech story I'm interested in, is like how South by Southwest went from like a really cool, interesting group of people telling each other very interesting stories and sharing knowledge to an Oreo, 3D printed Oreo like marketing machine. And in Casey Newton, one of our writers wrote a really cool story about it. By the way, I'm not like bitter. This sounds like I'm bitter or whatever. Like
It
that's
does
just
sound
one.
a little bitter.
But that's just like one small part of like what's going on in the world. That to me is, and I think some of like why I don't want to talk about like the new smartphone or like I don't want to talk about like iOS 8 leaks. Except I will say there's this like Mark Gurman from 9 to 5 Mac had these iOS 8 leaks, and they're gonna have like text edit or something, or it's some really sad stuff. They're gonna
walking public transit directions.
Yeah, public transit directions and maps. Like it's just the saddest update you can think of, because all this stuff is incremental. Like, and that's why like you don't hear us talking a lot on the Vergecast anymore about these like weird little incremental. Like, hey, there's a new 6.5-inch smartphone. Like we're very, I'm sure there's a set of people that's interested. We'll cover those when appropriate. We review them when appropriate. But like when it comes to the Vergecast, like I don't want to sit here and talk about a 6.5-inch screen on a smartphone unless there's like a really good reason to talk about it.
I kind of do.
Look, and you know what? This is the sleepless mind of a baby daddy. What is happening? Anyhow, so
right.
Are we talking about tech, Mark Little?
No, we should.
Where appropriate, my man.
We should
Where
talk about
appropriate.
Cosmos.
Although, wait, Mark Little also points out that he came up with drum roll as a replacement for Vergecast.
It's pretty good. Mark
Which I
Little
thought was pretty fucking
Mark
good.
Little, I thought you were
I'm
not on our.
feeding that.
You were not on our side, but now you maybe are on our side.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Anyhow, but so what's in the news? What do we have on our list?
Tech is dead.
Tech is tech dead? Is tech dead?
There's no more technology. It's all been done.
I don't think that's true. There we go.
Yes.
That's more like it.
That's
I
nice.
still feel like you got the wrong image on the right now. Look, he looks like Randy Quaid. Okay.
He looks good there.
Okay, Katie, that's enough. Maybe you got to back off that wine a little bit. We don't want anything embarrassing to happen here. Like the entire thing. We wouldn't want that to happen. Okay, so what's on our list?
Yeah, she said the
TC.
F word pretty early today. So
She's in
we're into
repeatedly.
it. Yeah.
Okay, so Neil, hey, you know what?
No, Cosmos.
Cosmo. I was gonna say
Yeah.
Katie did an amazing interview with Neil deGrasse Tyson. He came to our office, our studio, and sat down with us. And obviously, a super fascinating guy, brilliant dude. We
Really
interviewed him. I interviewed him a couple of years ago on the Verge, the first season of On the Verge, and he was so. Were you there?
Yeah, was there?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
he was like so engrossing. I don't know if he did this with you. Because I don't know the whole thing. But he would like, and I was like, oh, we got to wrap up. It's like 45 minutes. I was like, we got to wrap up. And he's like, no, and we talked for like another 15 or 20 minutes because he just wanted to say more stuff. He's so smart and interesting that it just makes you feel like, it made me feel like the dumbest guy in
Right.
the world.
Oh, I didn't feel dumb.
Okay.
Well, you
I
know
guess you're
science.
It
smarter.
felt like talking to a peer.
Yeah.
No,
No, but that's the thing. That's the thing about
Wow.
him, though. He's like super in
What
your
an
face.
ego! What an ego!
But it's an awesome kind of like super in your face. Like he.
Yeah. No, it's like you want him in your face.
Yeah.
There's some people you're like, dude, get out, just stop.
Yeah. He's like an evangelical scientist.
He's extremely intelligent, but I also find him extremely kind and thoughtful.
No, he's totally.
And like very easy to talk to. Like I was nervous. This was the first one-on-one like sit-down video interview I've ever done. And I was very nervous, but we made eye contact the whole time.
That's good.
We drank wine.
You did have wine with him, which just proves my theory that you have a drinking problem.
No, I mean, so
I'll drink to that.
All right. I have one of these
Cheers.
right here.
We don't have to do this every time.
Yes, we do.
Sorry.
Why shouldn't we do it every time? Huh?
Let's talk about more tech.
No, but so Neil,
Okay, here we go.
Dr. Tyson,
Oh, all of a sudden, Neil.
actually
Doctor.
is a huge wine buff, which I found out when I interviewed him for the Verge 50.
And he hated your wine.
He did hate the wine.
Just think about the kind of wine he's drinking, because let me tell you
No,
something.
I know, right. So
He has the money to buy good wine.
He has a wine cellar at his house.
Oh, God. I'm so envious.
And so I said to the guys buying the wine, I was like, get something nice. They got a $32 bottle of wine. I'm like, okay, fair. Like, that's a nice bottle of wine by my standards. And he took one sip and was like, yeah, this could use another 8 years. Another 8 years.
And he would know.
And he would know.
You can tell he's somewhat disgusted by the wine he's drinking. But he drank a full glass, didn't he?
He drank a full glass, and I did not because I was trying to, like...
And it was like 1 in the afternoon.
Be a
On a Monday.
professional.
Yeah, that's so
well,
great.
it was going to... My week would be shot.
Well, dude, I mean,
Like,
he's going to get in... He gets into some sick limo and just goes to his next awesome
and I
event.
saw him outside leaving, and he got into a big, like a... Not a Hummer, but like a...
Like a Suburban.
Yeah.
And you were an Escalade.
He's a total
Yeah.
player.
I mean, I only like Suburban is apparently like that's the car. Like I now get Uber once in a while. I'll get an Uber black car, and a lot of times they send because they have like Uber T, Uber X, Uber black car, and then Uber whatever's above that. It's like something.
A jet.
It's like Uber.
Uber Ultimate.
I don't know. It's like a Bentley. Anyhow, but they send Suburbans all the time,
That's
which
nice.
are like huge.
Maybe he got an Uber.
I don't know. Anyhow, he was getting into a car.
Yeah.
And then what?
He had an interview with People Magazine.
Probably a very different interview,
I bet.
right?
But he talked a lot about wine. That was probably most of the interview off camera.
Mm-hmm.
Gave us lots of good wine advice. But, and also said some really interesting stuff.
I wish you
that-
could use some of that advice today with this bottle of wine that we're drinking. God knows. I don't
just-
have a wine cellar, but I can tell you this is crap.
I like it.
Okay.
Shout out to Justin.
Yeah. Thanks, Justin.
The wine brand. By the way, Borrow Man just said he's going to fight somebody. When I was going. Alice Hamburgers, is he trolling us on Twitter?
Yeah.
This is the worst
jealous.
Vergecast ever. Can I just
It
say?
is kind of bad.
I think
We started. Can I just say before we started, we were having like a really great, exciting conversation, and then something happened during the intro that just threw us off. It was TC's stupid hat.
Yeah, probably.
Anyhow,
No, let's talk about Odyssey, though. Space Time Odyssey.
Cosmo.
Yeah,
Cosmos.
let's.
Okay.
Have you
The
seen it?
review. We all watched it, right?
I only started watching. I didn't. I have a baby.
All right, well, I'm going to talk to
Do
you
you
now,
understand?
'cause
You don't even
watched the
understand.
show, right?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
You guys talk.
What'd you think?
What
I'm
did
gonna
you
enjoy
think?
my wine.
I thought it was fantastic.
I thought it was really great too. I was surprised at how closely he stuck with the Carl Sagan, like the cosmic calendar,
Yeah.
the spaceship of the imagination. It was all like I'm not going to say ripped off. He used the word borrowed, sort of like as an homage.
It was a reboot in like a very literal sense.
Yeah, he said it's a continuation. It's like the second season of Cosmos, but it's 30 years later, which I did not know was what they were going to do. I think the most controversial part of that first episode, though, was the religion
Yeah.
segment.
I mean, he's clearly a hardcore atheist,
Definitely, and he's
And-
made very
and
strong
he's-
statements to that effect before.
and he's unabashed in his sort of science as religion viewpoint. And I mean, I don't think religion in the sense of like worship it, but just
I really appreciate the fact that they included that thread, though, because I think and it was very clear at the end when he talked about Sagan and what Sagan's mission was and
Yeah.
how this is a very practical thing. It's not just like, oh, look at these cool NASA photos. It's
Right.
like science is a real fucking thing that it improves our lives.
F-bomb.
Yeah. It's a real thing.
Yeah,
it's
it's
like
real.
It's,
It's
absolutely
important. It's super
necessary,
important.
not only to improve our lives, but from a nationalistic standpoint, like America's.
And no, that's one of his huge trips, and one of the things he talked about when he was on The Verge, and I know that he speaks about often is this concept of the love and appreciation and need for science as like an underlying driver of like who, like in America, who we are and what we do and what we'll build and how like we will, it's not about just about like, hey, it's like cool to experiment and find something out. It's like, hey, this stuff actually leads to legitimate new areas of exploration, of business, of intellect, and it's not, and that drives like a nation or a world, forward.
Yeah,
and I think that's true. I think science underlies, so many of the advances of civilization. I think about like longevity and I mean health in general, just full stop. Like anything related to health is like that is science in action. That is that is like really insane progress. We've expanded and extended like the human lifespan by 40 years or something in the last 100 years or to 150 years or whatever it is, just because like we've learned things about how stuff works. And like learning about how things work and taking that apart and utilizing it is you can't put a price on it. It's the most valuable thing.
I'm really glad they opened with the cosmic calendar concept, because it's like one of the, just putting the historical perspective in there is so important. Just the idea that in 500 years we went from like inventing the first telescope to putting someone on the moon is absolutely insane.
No, it's crazy. I mean, it's crazy. The things that even in the last 100, the things that have occurred in terms of discovery are astounding.
Well, and also that when put in perspective, that's what it was. What, like 5 minutes at the end of an hour,
right?
Or something.
Like all of meaningful modern history was like 6 seconds or something, in the final minute of the final hour.
Right. It's just it really is. I mean, I don't know if it's happening or not. I do hope things like this spark a new appreciation for. I feel like we went through a period, and I'll just say like the Bush era was the pinnacle of just utter ignorance and stupidity amongst like the populace of America, where it was like just denial of facts, and like from our government down to like and the average citizen, we were like denying truth and facts and replacing it with, I don't know what, greed or, like just forced ignorance, if purposeful ignorance. I don't really understand it, because to me, like it's the most disturbing thing in the world to imagine that like the president of the United States lied about weapons of mass destruction in Iraq to like spark a war, which we know basically happened for real, like definitely happened. And, I think that if I were a part of the populace that voted for that guy and like was like, yeah, creationism and all this other stuff that was happening during that time, I would feel like this wine is definitely having an effect. I just want to say, because I'm way down a rabbit hole in this one.
I think that it's still a very real fight. Like progress is not inevitable.
It is real. And we're still coming out of this like period of just like sustained and unbelievable ignorance that like, it's like either you're not paying attention or you don't care, or like you're just doing it to be an asshole. Like you're being ignorant to be an asshole. Like I think that we're still coming out of that, and I really hope that things like Cosmos start to help to shake more people out of this weird trance they've been in about. And I think the internet is like one of those tools where it's so easy to convince yourself of that you're right and that the things you believe are true, because there's a bunch of people on the internet who are like, yeah, you're right, those things you believe are true. And finding truth and finding real answers to real problems is like the basis of science, and I think it's so important that we actually put value in that, like consider that to be a highly valued thing.
I mean, I don't know what the solution to that problem is. I mean, a TV show, like, it's a great show. I enjoyed it a lot. From what I've read, the ratings had not been what they were expected to be, which is disappointing. But
yeah,
well, I don't know how you solve that problem, right? Like NASA's budget this year is flat again. It's the same shit.
Pop culture is a huge deal, especially like on a network like Fox. Like that's one of the things that I was most excited about. Like, this was far and away the biggest launch of any television show in history.
Yeah, it's weird.
Like Fox put so much money.
It's so
behind
weird
it.
that's on Fox.
It's
like they have to pay back all the damage they've done.
Yeah, a network that's known for American Idol and Family Guy, and
also for Fox News.
Right.
It's known for like the most destructive force in journalism since, I don't know, like Hitler controlled newspapers in Germany.
The
Network is a lot
RIP.
different than Fox News, but it's all the same.
Oh, except for the Daily, which was an amazing beacon of light in an otherwise gloomy place.
Yeah.
But rip.
Yeah, rip Daily.
Rip Daily.
It was a good year.
But yeah, no, Fox definitely has to pay it back, and that's what they're doing now. I just think it's so crazy to me that we have this almost like a real. I don't know if this isn't true in other countries. I can't. I don't want to speak for other countries. I live in America and I grew up in America. But it does seem like, and I don't know if this happened during the Reagan years, and then it sort of got solidified in the Bush years. But this like appreciation for it's like a willful ignorance that is almost like it's not cool to be smart. It's not cool to know things. Like it sucks. Like you're a terrible person if you read books. And I think that that really has cemented itself in some part of the firmament, some part of the layers of dirt that we stand on. I don't know what I'm talking about right now.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, I honestly don't think it's a modern phenomenon.
No, I mean,
At all?
Yeah.
probably not. I mean, knowledge is like scary. Like the thing about atheism and religion is that it's speaking as an atheist.
Yes.
It's scary to go like, oh yeah, like there are no easy answers. Like there isn't a simple, like God's got it.
Why do you think I have a drinking problem?
No, tell me about it.
Like, actually.
I know, sure.
Because you recognize the
well, but you
absurdity
still
of life.
believe in the heaven that exists above the planet.
Where there's lots of Philadelphia cream cheese.
Fully spreadable cream cheese, just so soft, ready to go on any bagel that you choose, no matter what, no matter what type of bagel.
I can't
Is that the
even
Jewish
eat
version of
bread.
heaven?
I have a gluten intolerance.
That was racist. An everything bagel, onion bagel, raisin bagel. You want to put cream cheese on that? No one's going to stop you. Anyhow,
Continue.
bagel up in your bagel heaven. What was I talking about?
Atheism.
Oh yeah. It's just scary, to go like, hey, God doesn't have it because he doesn't exist because it's a made up idea. Because anyhow, I'm getting so many death threats and hate mail. I can't even keep up. I can't even keep up with it. But here's what I'll say about it. Can I say I'm talking about atheism, and I'm sure people will be up in arms. But the most controversial thing that I've ever said in public is about being a vegetarian. That's like far and away. Like right now, if I was like meat eaters are terrible, way more controversial than like God is dead or whatever.
I mean, among certain audiences, I'm sure.
Here it is. Is this a real thing? What is this? Is this bagel heaven?
That's heaven.
This is real?
That's how I learned what heaven was as a child.
You were like,
my parents put me in front of the TV and
ad.
I watched those ads.
Is this an ad? Is it a print ad? What is that?
It's an ad.
It's fucking insane.
Well, here's the thing. Like, not everybody that I'm probably within this group as an agnostic atheist, but
really hedging your bets
not
there.
I'm righter than you are. What was I saying?
I don't know. We should have started.
I was saying, not everybody that
too early.
believes in God is like completely disavows science. Like that's a completely
No, I agree.
idiotic.
No, totally true.
Connection.
It's just that the Bible contradicts all scientific discovery. So
well, yeah, but not everybody believes the Bible literally.
No, I know. But then what is religion? I'm sorry. Like I have to ask that question. Like,
well, I mean,
if you don't believe literally, like, what is the Bible's purpose? But like, if you
there's
believe
praxis and community involved and all kinds of other
but that like
things that are unrelated to the scientific method.
No, I mean,
and there's like obviously some
there's
cognitive
good rules for
dissonance
living,
involved.
but like not to murder people without the Bible, right?
Yeah,
it's called morality.
Yeah.
Like you don't need the Bible to tell you not to steal from people.
I do.
Maybe you do. Oh boy, I should not be going down this
Wow.
path. Where's Paul Miller when you need him?
Yeah,
This would be a
exactly.
great conversation for him to join in. Is this the commercial? This is real?
That's my lady.
What?
That's my lady. Yeah.
Did you have this in mind when you were talking about cream
Yes.
cheese heaven?
That looks like Sandra Bernhardt's
This is
sibling.
disturbing.
I grew up
and there's like
watching
this
these ads.
beefcake, this beautiful beefcake
Yeah.
there, kind of watching her.
Only Philadelphia cream.
Like
like,
that. Like
please.
growing up, that's actually what I thought heaven was.
The
Cream
Vergecast
cheese.
brought to you by
Was just like Philadelphia. cream cheese
Philadelphia
clouds.
cream cheese.
Yeah.
It's creamy. Is that their tagline?
It's heavenly,
What's
maybe?
Philadelphia cream cheese's tagline? I need to know right now.
A little taste of heaven.
I'm pissing so many people off right now. It's
No,
out of
like that's
control.
actually what their tagline is.
I'm sorry. I'm just seeing tweets from people who are like, Listen, I just want to say, if I offended you at all, that was not my intention. If you are a Christian and you believe in science, that's wonderful. I think that's great. I do think at some point you get to a what is religion if you are a believer in science.
Well, you're not. I mean, like, here's the thing. There's a difference between
But, you know,
the
I mean, it's comforting.
Christian who is, on
It's a
board with
safety
science.
net.
Totally comforting. I agree. I
Yeah.
wish I could be comforted by religion the way that other people are.
Me too.
I mean, I'm sure that, like, look, when I feel like bad turbulence on a plane, I get really religious really fast. Because like you're like, well, you never know. The plane's going down, so I better just be like,
This
hey,
is
God.
why I need like
Hey, this
Xanax
is-
to get
The
on
only
an
time
airplane.
I'm religious, the only time I feel even the slightest hint of religion is the plane, terrible turbulence on the plane. It's like white knuckle turbulence, and I'm like, all right, God, I know you don't exist, but if you do, I don't want to die.
You're like the worst kind of atheist.
I am terrible. I can't believe I admitted that to the
There are no
world.
atheists in foxholes.
I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means.
It means when you're on an airplane that's going down, you're not an atheist.
Yeah, you're like, God, help me out. Because you're just grasping. You're like, I'll take anything, you know? If somebody threw me a parachute, I'd be like, cool, I'm out of here.
I mean, I'd be calm.
And I'm, by
I
the
know
way,
there's
the
cream
idea of
cheese
jumping out of a
coming.
plane, the idea of jumping
Plenty
out,
of cream cheese
you're
coming.
you're like, I would welcome death because I want it so badly. The idea of jumping out of a plane is terrifying to me, but I would happily take a parachute if I felt my plane was going down.
Yeah.
Think about that shit. Let that stew for a minute.
I try not to fly.
Are you finishing? Oh, it's the worst. Okay, fine.
I hate it.
Yeah. All right. Can we talk about something that isn't atheism or religion? This is the worst Verge. I mean, when I say it's the
I think
worst,
this is great.
We're going to come back to this every week.
let's talk about tech. What's going on with tech?
Tech.
I have
Are there
no
any cool?
idea.
Are there any cool?
What kind of smartphone do you think God would use?
a huge
he could
one?
use one. A
'Cause he
huge
could.
one?
He wouldn't have to. He doesn't have to worry about.
He
like,
probably
what
needed
size
much
his
bigger
hand
than a
is.
6.3 screen.
Yeah, curved though.
Curved.
To keep the glare of heaven out. He doesn't want to see cream cheese reflections while he's checking his Google Calendar.
On the 8th day, God created.
Oh yeah, by
Windows
the way,
Metro.
God uses an Android phone. Did I mention that? Okay, there we go.
Jay Wayne
Finally.
Maher Jr. wants us to move on.
What about we could do? Speaking of airplanes, we could do the Malaysian tragedy.
Jay Wayne,
What a downer.
Jay Wayne does not like this conversation. Not surprised.
I
By the
am
way, this is not the worst.
so
I'll say this is
sorry.
not the worst Vergecast that's ever happened. I've been on worse.
I think this is great. I'm having a great time.
Whatever, doesn't matter.
It matters to me.
So there's this airplane that was in the sky, and then it didn't land. And
Oh,
no
we're talking
one
about
knows where it went.
Malaysia Airlines.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
this is. I mean, this story is fascinating. There's.
Yeah.
Let's talk about this. This is actually a bit of a tech story. I mean, you want to talk about tech? I mean, here's the thing about tech. Like, let me just say this so I can just get it out in the open. Like, the way The Verge thinks about technology is that it is deeply connected, intrinsically connected to so much of like what is going on in our world that, this isn't about tech. It's like, hey, there's this gadget over here. It's like this stuff is all strewn in together. It's all connected, and so this Malaysia Airlines story is really interesting because there is a news aspect to it, like, oh my God, this plane's missing and did it go down and what happened? But the actual story is like, how did it go missing? Where did it go? What do we know about it? How do we track it?
You know,
How
it's
do
really
you track
sad,
planes?
but it actually reminds me of the movie Contact, where Jodie Foster's falling, and at the end, falling through that ball.
Spoiler alert.
And they're like, yeah, spoiler alert for a
Okay.
movie from the 90s.
It's a good movie. It's a great movie.
Yeah, and
based,
they're like, oh,
based
you were,
on a Carl Sagan
you were
book.
only falling
By the way, to
through
bring
the
it full
air
circle.
for 15 seconds.
Yeah.
And then they were like, oh, wait, the in-ball recorder had like 24 hours of time.
It's chilling.
It actually
it's
reminded
chilling.
me of Scandal.
Okay, spoiler alert on Scandal because I've never seen a single episode. And I know Carl's like, Scandal's the best.
It's terrible.
That's how Carl talks about
It's
it. That's his voice. Is it terrible? It looks terrible.
It's amazing.
It looks like the
if
worst.
you like The Good Wife, like
You'll love
game
Scandal.
over. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
All right. I'll watch it.
Don't listen to Katie.
Seriously, you think it's bad?
I think it's terrible.
Shut up.
Sorry, I just caught this headline on our site. Can we talk about this for a second?
All right.
Disney is releasing an EDM album with remixes from Avicii and Cascade.
Sorry, who?
Disney, the
Oh.
Walt Disney Company,
Disney.
the Walt Disney Corporation.
I know them.
If you like The Little Mermaid, you'll like Skrillex.
Wow, 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 wow. Hey, what's the name of the crab in The Little Mermaid?
Sebastian. Sebastian.
It's like the Sebastian,
Right.
like the Snippy Snip remix. It's like samples of Sebastian, and it's like wow, 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 wow. And
Well, I
that's-
guess Disney did Tron.
Well,
right?
they
Didn't they do Tron?
they funded and released Tron.
Yeah.
Yeah. God, this is come on. Let's talk about something. Malaysia Airlines.
Yeah.
So
Where the fuck's that plane?
where is the plane? So we were talking to Chris Ziegler about this. Chris is an airplane buff.
He is.
He's an airplane nerd. Like he knows stuff about airplanes that you can't even begin to imagine.
It's true.
He's
Fast
actually
and
working on
Furious.
something right now, like a story about something about there's a new discovery that there are electronics that were transmitting on this plane or from this plane for 5 hours after it kind of dropped off of radar. Interesting fact, like it drops off of radar 100 miles outside of Malaysia.
Right. I had no idea that.
Yeah, when they're over the ocean, they're flying blind.
Which
they're just
is
like
terrifying.
Like, hey, just check it out. I mean, I assume that they can see other planes, but in terms of
I'm never leaving the continent.
yeah, you don't want to do that. You don't want to fly over the
that's
ocean.
Insane.
But so the story's got a little bit more interesting because there's this now they're saying like, hey, the plane went into the ocean, it dropped from radar and it probably crashed and they just can't find it.
Right.
Now they're saying, well, there's 5 hours of transmitting data past the point where it dropped off of radar. And what Chris was saying to me, which I find fascinating, is that it might have landed somewhere. They're like, what are you doing? What's happening? Can you stop that? We're on a national, international broadcast right now.
I mean,
She's whispering trash talk.
Are you trash talking him? No. This is outrageous, Katie. What did you say?
he's just like threatening me for no reason.
He's threatening? Are you threatening her?
This is the worst. This is the worst thing I've ever done.
Did you threaten her? Be honest.
Absolutely not.
no
It's the
reper-
same accusation she leveled last week.
It's a blast.
Listen,
really.
people's lives are at stake here, and we're
With
having
the-
a petty
with the-
feud.
They're not at stake. I'm pretty sure. Like,
Oh, okay,
crime.
all right. We don't know. What I was saying is, Chris was like, "We don't know what happened to this plane. It's possible
Right.
it could have landed somewhere."
Yeah, that's
Oh.
weird.
And it just is
That's wild.
no, that's
He said that's a
so
possibility.
crazy.
Isn't that creepy?
No, but he's actually
lost.
On the Lost Island.
It's lost.
No, or somewhere else. They may just be, it might not be identified yet. We don't know. It could, yeah. It's not on the Lost Island because that doesn't exist.
Wow. We'll
This
see.
feels really insensitive.
You know why? Because it was from a TV show
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't watch the show
on ABC. It was interrupted by commercials.
And there's a golden
But, so,
retriever.
like, this whole
Yeah.
thing from the stolen passports
Go on.
to now, like, wasn't anyone else just like, how the hell?
Yeah, apparently
heck-
that happens all the time, though.
Right.
People
Oh,
stealing
now you're going
passports.
to edit yourself on hell? How the heck? How the heck do you?
Hey, I'm
Yeah,
going
keep
to
it
cream
clean.
cheese
Keep it clean,
heaven.
Katie. That's
I'm going
great.
to cream cheese heaven.
Okay.
How?
Yeah, keep your language nice and clean on this Vergecast. We want you to say anything that was off color. Go on.
I was just like really taken aback by the fact that you can steal a passport and then fly, take an international flight somewhere.
Well, I mean, it's
And that's
probably not
just-
that simple.
But like apparently it happens all the time.
No, I don't know. You have to. Somebody
I mean,
just tweeted. Sorry,
Interpol-
somebody just tweeted that somebody was standing behind me.
You just, that was a made you look moment.
No, somebody was like, "Who's the person?" Here's what they said.
You just got trolled.
Why has that same guy been standing behind the glass near Josh the entire podcast?
Oh, that's creepy.
Tired of seeing his ass, literally.
Oh, it's Evan.
Is it Evan? He's got a nice ass, though.
Yeah, he does.
It's pretty good. That's technically a violation of
You know
some
how you
type.
said you were going to murder me earlier? We have this ass comment on record for HR now.
Wow.
Believe me.
You
Yikes.
just self-doxed yourself.
Believe me, there's plenty of
So much
bad
doxing.
stuff on record for me. Okay, who is doing this? This woman, Trisha Nieder, is doing drawings of people, members of the Verge. Have you seen these on,
This
on
is the
Twitter?
creepiest thing I've ever
So
seen.
she just did one. Can we get this up? Can somebody just look at who just tweeted at me in this image? First off, it's a great drawing. It's disturbing. It's upsetting, but I like it. There it is. Can we zoom in on that?
Is that you?
I don't know. You tell me.
Yeah, that's definitely.
Is it me or is it Randy Quaid
I think that's you.
or the lead singer
no,
of the
that's
National?
definitely you.
We got to do this one
That's
of
very
Dieter.
well done.
Dieter. It's at the top.
What did Dieter do?
It's at the top here.
What did you just tweet?
John. No.
You drop.
It's coming
it to
up.
John.
It's coming up.
Okay, great.
Dieter Bone.
Bone Zone. He was almost on this. Wait, what is this? Ariel is. Hold on. Do I follow her? By the way, I need to. I didn't. I can't believe I wasn't. So Ariel, our new writer, just dissed me on Twitter.
She did.
Josh's lack of cream cheese ad knowledge makes me wonder if the quote cream cheese taught me about heaven thing is Canadian specific.
I think it might be.
Was Ariel like, yeah, cream cheese heaven?
It sounds
Oh,
like
you know
it,
what?
yeah.
They probably didn't run this ad in America. You
Yeah.
know why?
Probably not.
Because we know what real heaven's like.
Right. We don't call
You ride on a
macaroni and
gold.
cheese
You ride on a
craft
gold
dinner.
bus. Do you remember this article that was written in like the Atlanta Journal? Hey guys. Hey, you know what?
You saw that. That's how
I
you
did-
saw
I
that.
did see that.
You saw that.
I did see that, and it's upsetting, Katie.
Yes.
Don't do an F-bomb to him quietly on the Vergecast. That's not right. Who taught you it's Canadian manners, I guess, is what we're seeing here.
I don't think she's a real Canadian.
Really? Please elaborate on that.
She doesn't say sorry enough.
I say sorry constantly.
Why don't you say like sorry?
You
That's
say
the
sorry
real
less
question.
than you say the F-bomb.
Sorry.
You say the F-bomb a lot. That's not
Sorry,
very...
Dad, that you have to watch this.
He's not watching. Is he watching this?
He watches every
Oh,
week.
he's like, well, that Josh, he talks a lot.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry. You know what? I'm the host.
And that TC is
I mean,
verbally abusive.
traditionally, I am the host of the Vergecast.
Well, you're very talkative.
I am talkative. It's probably because I'm Jewish.
I thought you were an atheist.
Well, I was raised Jewish.
Oh.
Culturally Jewish, religiously atheist, which means I'm just very nervous, right?
Yeah.
So apologies to your dad if you're watching.
Hi, Katie's dad.
I guess I'll let Katie talk more.
Your daughter's normally very nice.
Katie,
just
why
not
don't
on
you run?
camera.
Why don't you run the rest of this thing?
Okay, great.
Whew. Thank God. Take a break. Drink some of this Fina. Am I right? Cheers.
Cheers.
Huh?
Bilateral cheers.
Do we want to talk about gas leaks?
Yes.
Oh my God. Yeah, I'm terrified.
I'm super freaked
So
out.
I was listening to NPR today, and NPR. It's funny. WNYC, which is the NPR. Of course, I was listening to NPR, right? It's such a stereotype, but it's cliche. New Yorker, Jewish New Yorker listens to NPR. Like, okay. They were like they had a show on a couple of days ago. It was about the failing infrastructure of New York.
Right.
And today they're like, yeah, this could be evidence of the failing infrastructure of New York. I live in a house that was built in 1860.
You
Yeah.
do?
Yeah,
I live
for
in
real.
I live in a very.
Are you kidding?
very-
Yeah, for
That's
real.
pretty old.
It's super duper old.
I think my.
And now
building
I'm
is
just like
about-
every
is
day I'm
about
like
that
my
old.
family's going to blow up.
1860.
Yeah.
That's like Civil War era.
Yeah, it's really old. Are you kidding? That's when it was built. We have like records.
Yeah.
It's actually what's interesting about my house is that Thomas Ricker, who lives in Amsterdam, has a very similar tiny house. I have a very tiny house. And Thomas Ricker's, that's so upsetting. Can we get that on screen, please? The Dieter image. Totally unrelated to my house and to explosions. Please get the Dieter graphic on screen immediately. I won't say another word until it happens. There we go. There we go. By the way, that was the longest moment of silence ever in the history of the Vergecast.
In the history of Josh.
In the history of actually, yeah, my uncle used to pay me money to be quiet. He's like, how long can you be quiet? I'll give you $1 if you be quiet. I'm a terrible kid, terrible adult. What are you going to do? Anyhow, so there was this terrible, huge explosion in Harlem, East Harlem. Apparently a gas leak, leveled 2 buildings, 7 people are dead. Just look at this. It is breathtaking that something like this could happen. It didn't happen on purpose. It wasn't planned. There were no explosives in this building, as far as we know at this point. And I think probably for real. Ariel, our new writer, did a great piece about how this happens and why this happens, which is really interesting. But it just made me feel just utter and constant fear now about my house exploding.
Yeah.
I mean,
What's
I
especially insane is that apparently they've been like reporting the smell of gas or a gas leak for like 2 weeks.
Well, but
before this happened.
So what I read, which was very, very sad, was a woman talking to the New York Times, and her husband was unaccounted for, and they lived in one of these buildings. So super sad. But she said to them something along the lines of, "We thought we smelled gas before we went to bed, then it went away. So we just went to bed, and then the next morning there was this explosion." And I think in terms of Ariel's piece, what was most disturbing to me was I think it was something like 35 or 38% of gas mains in Manhattan are made of chrome. What is the makeup? Some whatever the material is that makes them more vulnerable to these cracks, and predate 1960. In other words, they're outdated and they are vulnerable to cracks. That's terrifying.
No, that's
terrifying.
On NPR they were saying that the average age of the mains in New York is 56 years old, which is really old, and that they're made of this. What is it? Cast iron.
Cast iron, that's what it is, not chrome.
No, not chrome.
I'm thinking about the
Chrome
internet.
is what you put on your wheels.
Chrome is what
I wouldn't know.
is a browser.
Yeah, it's an internet thing.
It's weird that my reference point was about wheels.
Yeah.
And yours was about
Just
a
shows
browser.
how out of touch you are.
Tech
With tech.
talk right there. So anyhow, it's just terrifying. And
Yeah.
since my house is super duper old, I'm just imagining everything in it is ready to explode at any given moment. And today we had our heat on and it's making some weird screeching noise. It's hot water heat, it's not gas or anything, but it's making some weird high pitched screeching noise. And it's like, oh, this is it. Here we go.
Yeah.
Like, we're gonna blow up. So it's a terrible tragedy and a shocking story. And also, like, I think, not to get all political on you yet again, but is a demonstration of the need for us to be concerned about the infrastructure in America. Not just, this is a privately owned company that is responsible for these gas lines, but they're responsible to the citizens of this city.
No, it's a public utility, though.
Well, it is a public utility, but I mean,
Like Con Edison has the privilege of being one.
it's not Con Ed, it's National Grid.
National Grid.
I think
No, it's Con Ed.
It's Con Ed?
Con Ed doesn't do gas.
Yeah, they do.
Do they?
They're my gas.
They do gas? Mm-hmm. I thought they only did electricity. Very confused. At any rate, also I've been drinking. At any rate, this wine is really affecting me, I have to
good.
say. Is
Yeah.
Justin high in alcohol content?
I don't think so. I just didn't have lunch.
Justin's messing me up. So the thing is,
A little high.
the point is, it's like infrastructure is a real issue. I mean, there have been Frontline Act. I think actually did a great piece on infrastructure, if I'm not mistaken, a couple of years ago. I could be totally making that up, but there's definitely our roadways, bridges.
Yeah, they're
Bridges.
collapsing.
Bridges
It's like
are a
We're
big thing. I
literally
mean,
like America's like falling apart.
It's like,
And-
think about how much money the federal government spent on public projects in the
have
last
you
100
seen
years.
this- there's
National park building, international.
Look at. There's a great chart of the spending, our budget in the U.S. Look at the budget for defense spending versus the kind of the spending we're doing on things like infrastructure. It's depressing.
It's insane.
It's insane.
Yeah.
And like, look, so far, I don't know. I'm not going to get into terrorism and stuff, but we've had, 9/11 was awful, but.
It's just such an. It's
But
such an
this is
obvious-
off. But this this is awful too. And like 100 of these is even worse. And like if the infrastructure if we don't care about it, we don't think about it. Like 100 of these is
Yeah.
what's in store.
But it should be such an obvious and like uncontroversial point that, like this public stuff that we spend money on as a society, enables us to do things privately,
Right.
like the interstate highway system.
Right.
That wasn't like, a company like Google or Microsoft saying, "Oh, we need to build some roads." It was all of us together.
I mean,
doing
this gets to this kind of leads back to net neutrality and talking about like what we value here and how we manage it. I mean, I think net neutrality is the internet is a great example of the next infrastructure crisis in America, where it's massively needed utility for all citizens of this country and of all countries. We have the ability and the opportunity to make it a widespread, easily accessible, open thing, and the direction we're headed is, the FCC in cahoots with, private companies is managing it into a private, expensive service, which will be controlled by people who have interests outside of what the citizens of this country need. They're controlled by monetary interests and in the interest of making money and getting paid for everything. And so it's like one of these things. It's like we can't keep up the infrastructure we have that is shared, and we can't build new infrastructure where we need it. Things like an open and free internet. Like what is the future of America if we don't do something about it? That's
and
why
also, no one gives a shit about science.
Right. This is why the space program is being taken up by Elon Musk
Right.
and Jeff Bezos.
Because NASA gets $17 billion a year.
I'm not saying they're not profit. I'm not saying they don't want profits from that stuff, but they're gonna at least that will drive them to do something.
Yeah.
In America, we can't even see. I mean, the government can't even see the reason why we would want to work on a space program.
Right.
Like they can't see the value in it.
Well, it's a long-term thing, and
Yeah.
profit-seeking companies are absolutely essential for innovation and driving the economy and everything else. But they're also beholden to shareholders in a way that makes them focus on quarterly results. And,
Right.
You can't. We have big problems that require really long-term
And,
investment.
most companies aren't Apple in the sense that, Verizon's not Apple. Verizon is happy to be relatively complacent with what they have, you know. If they weren't, the widespread FiOS would be happening right now, and it's not, you know. Comcast and Time Warner, this like, you know, disgusting merger that's probably going to happen, where it's going to create this like insane conglomerate. You know, it's their motivation for innovation doesn't exist, and it's like, and it sounds like at a very basic level, like, oh, that's some nerdy like. What does that matter? Like, I need cable. That's not important. But it'll matter when, like, you can't get the things you need on the internet because they have decided that it's more profitable to charge you for them. And so it's like, it's really a disturbing situation we have in this country.
What are we supposed to do about it?
A violent revolution. I said this a couple Vergecasts ago. The only answer ultimately is a violent overthrow of a corrupt government. And you know, actually, like I'm joking around a little bit, but also somewhat like look at other countries. Like what's happening is violent overthrow of a corrupt government, and our government is we have a great way of like demonstrating that we're not. We like to act like we're not corrupt, and it seems like we're not corrupt. We have like a tremendously corrupt, diseased government in America, which is poisoned by private interests and people who want to hoard money. And like it damages the populace of this country in ways that like we can't even begin to understand. And yet, this fucking wine. Yep. And yet,
cheers.
And yet, like there isn't. Occupy Wall Street was the closest thing we had to violent revolution. It was a whiff of. It was a baby's. You know, by the way, as a new father, I'm aware of what babies can do. Not very much. It was like a baby's version of like a real, you know, revolutionary sort of movement. And I think that I'm not saying we need to overthrow the government. That would be the worst. I'm not. Let me just say this clearly. Literally. Do not overthrow the government. That would be a bad idea. But I do think we need a stronger reaction to this stuff. Like you guys, like, you know, net neutrality sucks. Like we'll black out our website for a day or something like that. Like that can work in small doses.
No, but we can't overthrow the government every 2 and 4 years.
No, but
like literally overthrow.
But it's like you're trading one evil for another.
Evils,
exactly.
Right. Yeah. Like I don't feel like I'm overthrowing the government when I vote every 4 years.
But I think it requires a fear and knowledge and understanding of what is going on at a level that will make you do something far more meaningful. And that's like that's not like that's
You're
not
saying we should vote for Rand Paul.
No, don't vote for Rand Paul.
But
I do think people getting involved. I think people getting legitimately involved in what is going on in their local governments. And trying to find ways to affect real change by removing people who are cancerous is like a serious component of it. I'm really on a roll here. My God, I'll probably get shot leaving the building.
Don't say that.
By me.
Oh my God.
TC just behind me, just clips me, and that's it. Anyhow, I just think, you know, look, we have. I don't know. What do you do? We're not going to have a revolution in America until it gets really bad. But I will say this, we have a growing disparity between the haves and have-nots. Everybody knows that. And at some point, that begins to like really rot. And when it rots, like, you know, I don't know. You don't know. I mean, shit gets bad. Shit gets funky.
I am so glad to be a Canadian citizen
Oh,
right
yeah,
now.
you think you can run up to Canada?
Yeah, I'm a dual citizen.
Guess what? Nuclear
so
conflagration, that wave of nuclear waste will just flow right up to Canada, all right?
What are you talking about?
Judgment Day is what I'm talking about.
Universal health care.
You're basically an American anyway.
How's that universal?
Most Canadians live within 100 miles of the
How's that universal health care going to
like
help
80%.
you when a wave of nuclear waste from our...
What nuclear waste?
Judgment Day.
Judgment.
What are you talking about?
Have you never seen Terminator 2 or Terminator 3?
No.
What about Terminator 4?
No.
You've never seen any of the Terminator movies?
No.
Are you kidding me?
There's
No.
the door.
Please leave.
No.
Just get out of here.
No.
How have you never seen a Terminator movie?
I don't know. I watched a lot of like Melrose Place.
It's just disturbing.
I had 2 older sisters. Like, you know, we watched like Beverly Hills.
You gotta admit this is the worst Vergecast ever.
I think it's great.
You do, really?
Yeah.
I've been talking about violent revolution and overthrow. I'm going to be arrested as soon as I leave.
That's your problem, man.
People have been tweeting me. They want me to talk about Vox.com, the new
Oh, let's talk
news.
about that. That's exciting.
The new news vertical that is being launched by Vox Media, our parent company.
I would love to talk about that if we're allowed.
I mean, we can talk about it. All I can say is it's an exciting and interesting new venture for our company. It is going to be very different than what we do. Very different than Here's a little bit of they have a video, a wonderful video actually.
Ezra Klein may be a bigger nerd than anybody at The Verge.
Ezra Klein is a big nerd, and I really like him. I have to say,
he seems like a super nice dude.
He's not only super nice, but he's super smart. And like everybody who's
Did you say he's not?
Did you say
super
he's
nice?
not super nice?
I said he's not only super nice, but he's
okay.
super smart.
I think you
he's
skipped
not.
a word
No, he's
there.
not super nice, but he is super smart. No,
Yeah,
he is.
that's what
He's
it sounded
nice.
like.
He's nice and smart. But but that whole team, they're very smart people that have very good ideas about how to cover sort of a broader, more general news scope in a new way.
Sure.
And it'll be different than The Verge. Like if you read The Verge, you'll find it's a very different publication. But I'm excited about it. I can't really reveal.
They're hiring incredible people.
I can't reveal much because I know a lot. I'm not going to tell you guys what's going on. But what I will say is that the thinking that's going into what they're doing and the stuff that our product team is building with them is really exciting. And I'm very excited about it. What's going on with you guys? Are you threatening each other again? Are you? And I have to say, somebody wants me to talk about. J. Wayne Maher wants us to talk. I don't know how do you pronounce your last name.
Maher? Maher? Bill Maher? Like Bill Maher.
So
that's
Ariel is finally got my back here.
Yep.
She's seen the Terminator.
What a
movie.
traitor.
How the hell have you not seen Terminator?
I haven't seen a lot of things.
I gotta be
what
honest, I haven't
else?
seen Terminator either.
Shut up. Seriously, shut up. Are you serious? You never seen Terminator?
Yes.
I saw the one with Christian Bale.
Dude, please get out right now. Like you need to leave and
Listen,
just
I've seen both the Blade Runners.
Go upstairs.
I've seen Blade Runner.
Just
put up
Josh,
your shit in
it's
a
a
box.
different generation.
No, it's not a generational thing. Really is Gone with the Wind a generational thing? Is Lawrence of Arabia? Is Ben-Hur? Is Citizen Kane? Is
Do you just sit at home and watch Turner Classic Movies with Penny all day?
TCM nonstop? What was that noise? Was somebody yelling?
It's that guy that's been behind
Is
you.
this
And his ass.
Sorry to spit
is making
all over you. I
noise.
apologize. Is the control booth going crazy? What's going on with those guys?
They look to be under control.
When do we start this?
I don't like.
Are we almost done?
It seems like we should be ending pretty soon. Can we not?
Should we talk about Need for Speed?
Can we not broadcast it? Is there a way that we can just? This will be the live one. Nobody will ever see this. Is that? Oh really? Are you serious, John? You're not serious
About what?
about what he just said to me. So you're just kidding, is what you're saying? What you just said to me? Okay. Nothing. It's about a conversation John and I had earlier.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyhow, you want to talk about Need for
A
Speed?
lot of tension.
I have nothing to say about it. I didn't see the movie.
I saw
Chris,
it.
Oh.
Chris did not like it.
Let's talk about Aaron Paul.
Okay, let's talk about Aaron Paul.
Yeah, he's Jesse
No,
Pinkman.
hold on. I want to hear what Katie has to say about Aaron Paul.
Very good looking human.
You have a thing for like
Hey,
boyish.
if Carl is watching this.
I don't understand. Carl's
Friend.
not.
No.
on a second.
Carl looks a lot like Aaron Paul.
I disagree. Strongly disagree.
Well, you're wrong.
Aaron Paul has like a boyish kind of like.
So does
he's
Carl.
blonde. No.
Aaron Paul
Have
is
you
not
seen-
blonde.
Yes,
You
he
are
is.
high.
No, he's not.
Yeah, Aaron Paul has blonde hair. Basically,
He has like brown hair.
It's like dirty blonde.
It's like brown.
He's got a blonde face, and you know it.
a blonde face.
You know what? You know what else? You were saying Brian Bonsall you were really into, and I think he's got kind of this blondish, boyish thing going on. I'm worried about you. And also, Carl does not look anything like Aaron Paul.
Looks like
Yeah,
Jared
he does.
Leto.
He totally does.
You need glasses.
I have contact
Are
lenses.
you wearing contacts right now?
Yeah.
They're not working.
Yes, they
You
are.
need new ones that function.
I've talked to my sisters about this. We all agree.
Well, your sisters are just humoring you, I think, is what's going on.
No.
No way do they look alike.
Yes,
they both have
they
facial.
do.
No, they both have facial hair. That's
They look
it.
a lot alike.
No, they look nothing alike. TC, will you please back me up on this?
I'm not going to get involved.
Oh, really? Now you're not going to get involved? Here's your chance.
Looks nothing like him.
That's right. Thank you.
I think they're both very
I
handsome.
mean, I look more like Aaron Paul than Carl does.
No, you do not.
I don't look anything like him. That's my point. I don't look anything like him. That's what I'm saying.
I look like Zach Galifianakis.
A little bit.
A little
bit.
bit.
Yeah.
So anyway,
This was
movie
Between
looks
Two Ferns.
awful.
Can we get that
It was,
side
a
by
really,
side up,
it was a
please?
really bad movie.
Can you tell us about it a little bit?
There was Aaron Paul,
Oh, Jesus.
and it was basically Jesse Pinkman driving cars.
I don't understand. This is not part of the Fast and Furious franchise, is it? It's just like
No,
the same
it was a video
movie.
game. It was a video game that EA made,
Oh, okay.
and we
I
got,
wouldn't know.
There have
we
been
got
a
into the
thousand
thea-
of them. There have been a
No,
thousand
it's like
of
it was
them.
unbelievable. We got into the theater, and the EA logo splashed up on the screen as if you were playing a video game, and everybody just started fucking cracking up.
Wait, what happened?
You're in the theater. You know how like it shows all the studios.
No.
Science, bitch. That's it. That was the week of March 10th. From our family to yours. Don't use natural gas.
No. You're not ending this. You don't get to say when it ends. Just you got a cowboy hat on, you're in control. You're not in control. Do you feel in control?
A little bit.
No, you're not. That's the Vergecast for this week. I'd like to thank Katie and TC for being on it. It was great. Always a great time. I'm sorry, guys. You know what?
You guys want to talk about gonorrhea real quick before we sign off?
What's going on with my hair right now?
It's not good.
It's doing some really funny stuff.
It's not good.
I'm sweating.
I think we're upsetting Billy and John, our producers.
Oh, yeah. They thought this was such hot shit before we started. They're like, it's so great. We love the Vergecast. What do you think about the Vergecast now, guys? How you feeling about it? Huh? That's what I thought.
Can we talk about?
I'll see you in hell.
Can we talk about hat technology?
No, we
next
got to
week?
wrap up. That's the
All
Vergecast
right.
for this week. Very sorry, by the way. Very sorry about sorry. Yes, what's happening? I'm not drunk. I'm just tired, and I am maybe a little buzzed. That's the Vergecast for this week. We're very sorry about what it seemed like to you. I assure you that there is some audience for this. You just weren't it, probably. If you want to reach out to us and send us a message about how much you disliked what we did today, you can email us at vergecast@theverge.com. You can leave a comment on the post when it goes up, or the one that has gone up. You can drop something into the forums on the Verge. Please don't do this. You're doing this. I hope you don't have lice. That's all I have to say. And
That's a really good look
it's
for
so
you, actually.
Sweaty.
It's a really good look.
It's so sweaty. It's so sweaty in here. This is so disgusting. And yet I do actually think this is kind of a good...
That's the best you've ever looked.
It's kind of a fresh look.
I've known you for 3 years. That's the best you've ever looked.
I'm not going to lie to you, but this may become my thing. I'm going to be like the guy... Josh Topolsky, the guy who wears the cowboy hat. Yep, that's me. Anyhow, by the way, this solves my hair problem completely. I guess bald dudes are super into hats, right? They're like, hey, check it out. I got a thing going on up here. It's not hair, but it's a thing. That's the Vergecast. You can email us at vergecast@theverge.com. You can leave a comment. You can throw something into forums. You can find us on Twitter. The Verge is @Verge. I'm Joshua Topolsky. TC is Laughing Stoic.
Don't say it.
Totally garbage Twitter name. Katie Drummond is Katie Drum.
With two M's.
With two M's.
Because she doesn't know how to spell drum properly.
Because she can't spell drum.
Yeah.
In Canada, that's how they spell it, with two M's. And that's it. That's it for this Vergecast. And could be it for every Vergecast ever, frankly. Somebody just said best Vergecast ever.
Yeah.
Somebody just tweeted that at me.
It was probably my dad.
It wasn't. Oh, really? Is your dad named Henrik Jansson?
No.
Well, then I guess it wasn't your dad.
Let's end
Anyhow,
this now.
that's it for this Vergecast. And
Really? We're not going to talk about gonorrhea?
Okay. What would you like to say?
Next week we'll talk about it. Because by then there will be no
So
cure.
Trisha Nieder just did a new image. Can we get this image up? I don't know how she's turning these around so quickly. Can we just get the new image that she did for us up? It's of me. It's very good. Very good stuff. And it looks a lot like what you're looking at right now. You guys are too slow. Yeah, look at my feed. There it is. It's disturbing, isn't it?
It's like a fedora, though.
People really are liking the hat. All right. Anyhow, that's the Vergecast for this week. We'll be back soon with so much more. And until that happens, I have to warn you. Something bad is coming for you and your family, and I can't stop it. May God be with you.